everybody. My name is Asher Alvarez. I'm the Information Security Officer for the Cyberchasers, a team of cyber consultants dedicated to preventing any sort of insider threat in the big business world. Today, we're going to be assessing our latest insider threat program in an effort to measure its overall effectiveness. And the route that we're taking on this is we are going to make sure that within our insider threat program, we are covering all 5 major aspects of the NIST framework. The 5 major components are to identify, detect, protect, respond, and recover from any sort of threat, or in our case, the insider threat. And our program must effectively work through each 5 of those components, and we're going to be measuring our efficacy based on how well we meet these guidelines provided by the NIST framework.
Hey guys, this is Malik, the Human Behavior Analyst for the Cyberchasers group, and thanks to my friend Oscar for laying out the plan. But before we go much details into that, I have to identify and make sure we understand what is the problem that we are facing right now. As they say, half the solution is identifying the problem. To identify the problem, we need to see the risk of the availability of data. Let's say, for example, I'm working for this company for almost like 10 years, and there's a newcomer employee who's been working there for 3 months. Him and I cannot share the same data and information because you're not sure these employees might stick around. They're about to leave in 1 month. You're not sure about if they're going to stay or not. So we need to limit the access of these information for certain people within the company. Another important thing is leaving employees. A lot of employees, not every time, but we have to shine a light on it since we are a Cyberchasers group looking for the best interest for the company. Some employees, when they intend to leave a company, they take some of the information with them. And a lot of these information are confidential. So we're trying to make sure employees don't leave with certain information with them to new companies. Another important thing I'll say is insider threats possibility. As a human behavior analyst, I have to put myself in a position that I ask myself, what can I do something malicious? What could someone do if they are in this position? What are the possibilities they could do something malicious? Or what can they do? A lot of people, when they hear insider threats, they directly go thinking about stolen data, stolen information. Somebody's taking something. Somebody is doing something they're not supposed to. That's not always the case. What about modifying data? What about inserting data that it should not be there? We have to look into that as a whole. And as a matter of solution, we have to start from the bottom. If this company doesn't have a strong policy, we could create one. If they already have an existing policy, we could improve it, we could develop it, and there's so many ways we could do that. Important thing, we have to educate the employees, and a lot of these problems that happen as an insider threat perspective, it's lack of awareness. So our plan is, to put a very light test or quiz that is done 3 to 5 times in 2 years to make sure that employees are always aware of these insider threats.
Hey guys, this is Will from the Cyberchasers group. I'm the security compliance analyst for CHC 350, and right now we are discussing the ITP program that we want to put forward for our case study. So what we've got is an assessment plan to assess the effectiveness of the plan that we're going to put forth. So the plan itself will involve the implementation of a network intrusion detection system or some sort of anomaly-based intrusion detection system. These types of systems basically monitor the network for malicious activity or events or actions that might be performed by an individual or person on the network. They may be, trying to exploit their permissions that they've been granted, or some sort of malicious network activity. These systems are put in place to basically check for the network for intrusions and just watch normal network traffic and its behavior to recognize when users are performing a task or something they don't normally do. And on the basis of this, it obviously makes it known there's a problem. So when putting these systems in place and implementing them, they should be designed to work properly 24/7. And we want to rate the effectiveness of these systems that we implement within the ITP program. So we can do that by running scheduled intrusion tests, doing this on our own. It can make sure that the system is up and running 24/7. It's able to combat various types of intrusions or issues. So, if we wanted to take a look at a certain type of attack or a different type of attack, we can throw a bunch of different attacks at it, basically, and see what it catches and doesn't catch, make sure it's effective anyway. We can assess its performance doing this as well. So regardless of if the attack was scheduled or the intrusion was scheduled or it was an actual attack or intrusion, we can quantify how many attacks it was catching versus not if it was unsuccessful. And then also evaluating the reaction time of the system. How quickly was it able to spot the intrusion or the problem and report it? So examining these different aspects of data, we can measure the effectiveness of the detection portion to the NIST framework. So this approach also would have obviously prevented this fraudulent activity from occurring. For our case study, we have the situation where we've got an insider taking advantage of rewards points and claiming a lot of money online in a fraudulent activity. Basically, if we had these systems in place, this would have prevented such an action from happening. And when you implement systems like these, it can prevent it from occurring in the future.